We ready? Motion to order.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Have a moment of silence honoring the City of Syracuse police officer and Onondaga County Sheriff's deputy who were killed in the line of duty. Thank you. The minutes of the March 18th meeting have been distributed. Is there any comments, discussion? Entertain a motion for approval. Mark and Charlie. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The minutes of the March 26th meeting have been distributed. Is there a motion to approve those? Charlie? And Mark? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. And the minutes of the April 1st special meeting have been distributed. Is there a motion to approve those? Charlie and Mike Chura seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. The treasurer's report, Bill.
Okay. We'll start with codes. It's a nice small one side. I'm sorry, wait a minute. Oh, okay, codes, there's no vouchers this month. Top of the page is the assets. And on the back side, I hope yours says the checking, no?
There's no back.
No back, okay. It's that damn machine again. I'll get that to you later. The back would be the checking and the savings account, but there's no change from last month. Okay. And we've got 3 credit card vouchers, 1 overtime voucher, no codes, 2 permissive referendum, and 48 district vouchers tonight. Okay, and if we look at the district one now, front page, the top of the assets, and the New York class is included in there. And if you look, they should follow 1, 2. To be certain reserve fund for tax stabilization and the New York class tax stabilization, you'd have to add those 2 together to find out what we have total. And below that, same for the capital improvement, one's the regular reserve, and one's the New York class. And those 2 numbers together is what we've got total in that account. Bottom of the page are the liabilities. Page 2 and 3 is the budget versus the actual.
Bill, I got a question on
Yep.
2. Background checks,
Yep,
$15.60 a dollar, $14.60, $1,560.
Percent.
oh, yes, look. That's, okay, you're right. 1560 is what's been spent so far on background checks. I have to throw in something or it'll put a zero and I put $1 there, so that percent is not correct. We don't budget, we don't have a budget line item amount for there.
Okay.
Maybe this, we need to throw in $1 when we do next year so that it prints it. But thank you, that's good. Okay, 2 and 3, that is the actual. Next page was comparing previous year, page 4 and 5. Page 6, 7, and 8 are the bank account pages. And on page 8, I tried to do the New York class accounts, starting January to the end of March. And the interest that shows on page 8 at the top, for the first one, capital improvement, $10,617. That's not the month, that's from January to end of March, that's 3 months of interest. Next month, it'll show from January to April. So if that will help people keep track of what the interest earned on those accounts. Page 9 is the service award account. We made some money last month. That's it, $991,783. Page 10 is the referendum page. And on that page 10, you'll see there's 2 little gray boxes. I usually write the date in there of when I've transferred the money, because there's 2 bills tonight. One for the $48,661 for the Hamacho tool, but that money hasn't been transferred yet until you sign the voucher. And the same with down below, to purchase 10 pair of gloves, the structural gloves. That money hasn't been moved yet either. Page 11 is the principal interest. Last month, we paid $5,075 interest on truck 2. Next interest payment is in June. And page 12, 13, 14, 15 are tonight's vouchers. The annual financial report has been sent and received and certified by the state. Copies have gone to the auditor and the town. Service award paperwork has been sent to Omega, and now we're waiting for them to return their participant statements or paperwork. And then they'll be processed, and we'll do the, figure out who's taking their award, who's rolling it over, and who's keeping it in. That's all I have on that.
Any questions for the treasurer? Entertain a motion to approve the payment of the vouchers as presented and distributed.
I'll make the motion.
Okay, Diane makes a motion, Mark seconds the motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Motion to approve the treasurer's report. Diane makes the motion, and Mark seconds. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Who has the bank statements, Bill?
You do.
I do?
Yes.
I'll look at those.
I have one more thing before you. I have one more thing too.
Go ahead.
Okay, on page 7, in the bank account pages, payroll account, the auditor also has this, we're working on it. If you look there, just so you know ahead of time, at the very bottom of the page, it has balance adjustment, and I have that marked in QuickBooks. It's Ask the Auditor's account, $6,106.94, and up above, maybe right in the middle, is another balance adjustment of $817. And I'm pretty sure those are the taxes from payroll. Paychecks takes out the employees' taxes, and then they send it in, but it comes out of our account. And I'm putting that someplace wrong. And so I tried to come out, and I did get it to come out now, so that the 88,000 is the balance, so that I can finish the year now with the right figure. The auditor's going to work with me and figure out what I did previously. So if you see that, it's written there, balance adjustment. That's what that means.
So that's $6,106.94.
Most likely is that tax money that's been taken out. But he knows, and he'll figure it out. But I didn't want you to say what that is. That's. And what Paychecks did, they said I sent them the QuickBooks, all my accounts. And then they picked where the money was going, where they went. Well, they sent back a thing that says needs account. I don't know what it needs account. What account? Is it a liability account? Is it this account? So that's the problem.
Okay. Correspondence.
We received back the ISO report. We have moved from a classification of a 3 to a 2. They thanked us for our work on the inspection, and it just goes into detail of how it came into that number. But I have that available if anybody wants to review that. The Central Region Fire Districts Association meeting is Monday, April 22nd at Mattydale at 7 o'clock. The discussion will be the OSHA 1910 election of officers and the presentation of the proposed bylaws for the state association. Dinner will be at 6:30. If anybody's interested, let myself or Kit know.
Does anybody plan on attending that meeting? Charlie? We'll need to make our reservation. I'll be attending, and probably you will, so it'll be 3. Chief's report, Chief Gleason.
Good evening. I'm going to start out with a thank you to our members for their efforts last night. Given what had occurred and the uncertainty that was out there, and without a specific request, I put out a page to our members asking for them to staff the floor and staff the apparatus. Our volunteer staff answered that call. Last night we were able to successfully staff Truck 2, Engine 11, Squad 1, and the Chief's vehicle for a significant portion of the evening. And after one of our mutual aid partners was able to return to service, we continued to have an engine, a squad, and a Chief's vehicle staff for the overnight period. So thank you to all the volunteer members that stepped up last night, came in, and were on the floor for that. We appreciate that. Moving into the rest of my report, so you have some notes on turnout gear. As we've expanded our issuing of turnout gear, we're noticing that fit, condition, and age are becoming a concern for the turnout gear that our members are being issued. We are currently investigating the proper specification of turnout gear for what we do and what our service is. So we've begun investigating that. We're looking and gathering data on our frontline gear right now, so we know what we have, what condition it's in, so that we can come up with an informed plan for the commissioners on what a replacement plan looks like. So just wanted you to be aware that investigations are ongoing on that. We may need to consider for urgent need the use of lease gear or rental gear. Again, that's just to make you aware of that we may be looking for that option if we have an urgent need where we're not able to outfit somebody properly. More to come on that as we move forward. From there, our line officers meeting was very productive. I thank the line officers for sticking in there. It was a long meeting. We covered a lot of ground. One of the things that came out of that was a plan to begin to standardize our hand lines and our hose complement across the apparatus. So the line officers are currently working on that plan. We have assignments for individual line officers working across to try to get all of our cross lays at a minimum where color is equal to a length, standardizing the lengths and the positioning across the fleet so that we'll be as same as we're able to achieve. So if you look at a pumper, where those hand lines are, what those lengths are, will be the same regardless of where you are as you look across our area apparatus, same concept. With that, we are looking to do some research on what our mutual aid partners carry. We've already gotten some information from Northwest, and we'll be waiting a bit, but then we'll be getting some information, looking to get some information from Morris Corners as well, just to, if it makes sense to match or to mimic some of what they have, and it makes sense for our operations, we'll look to do that. If not, then we'll come up with our own plan. The other thing I have on the agenda for you is implementation of a training plan. We spent a lot of time on this at the line officers meeting, taking into consideration the fire department bylaws, which require seven mandatory trainings per year. We're going to define those trainings moving forward annually. So for this year, we chose really some fundamental firefighting skill sets to build on. We've identified those in there, and you have those: donning an SCBA, hand line placement advancement, hydrants and water source ladders. And then we had significant discussion about the next three, which are firefighter survival, vent, enter, isolate, search, and rapid intervention techniques. So looking at the composition of the department, looking at our apparatus, and looking at our service area, we discussed the need to be able to start enhancing our skills in those topics, and really enhancing our ability to be efficient and effective with these topics. So these are going to be our mandatory trainings for the year. We are working within our lesson plans to identify appropriate training for interior firefighters, exterior firefighters, and EMS members, all relating to each of those topics. So within that, we'll have that for each of those broad classifications of our members. The other thing we're doing with that, in order to best accommodate everybody's schedule and their ability to achieve these trainings, is we are working to design the lesson plans where it will be a 2-hour delivery for the traditional Thursday night drill, but also have the ability to be split into 2 1-hour segments for each of those 7, so that folks that aren't able to attend Thursday night can stop in, they can send a request, they can ask folks that are qualified to teach those topics, hey, I want to come in on X date, I would like to do part 1 or part 2 of this topic, and we'll have the ability to deliver that for them. So trying to create as much flexibility in there as we can to achieve those 7 mandatories. With that, any of your questions? That's my report.
You have this
Oh, the cube.
quote from Colden.
Yes, ma'am. So the quote from Colden is for removing Q siren from engine 21 that has been removed from service and placing it on former engine 11, new engine 21. Speaking with the members, that queue has some historical significance and has been with the department for a while. So the plan is to reinstall that on 21 for a final ride. And then once 21 is removed from service and retired, we will retire the queue. And we've been discussing a plan to get that mounted and to kind of pay homage to the history that presented to the folks that have history with it. So we're requesting approval of that payment to Colden to reinstall that for its final ride.
I was confused because it says the 2024 HME fire truck, and it's not the 2024, so I had to inquire. Is there a discussion about that proposal?
Are they gonna put it in headquarters when 21's gone?
We haven't come up to that conclusion yet, but we could, either there, here, wherever, at one of the stations, on some type of plaque. Just like the bell we have currently for the meetings.
Is it gonna take away any of the face value for that truck being sold?
I could not answer that question, but I would assume probably not.
Well, if we're going to switch, are we going to take the one from old engine 11, put it on 21, the old 21, so the one from old 21 will go
No,
where?
there isn't one.
There isn't one.
Oh, there isn't one?
No.
Okay, I'm getting it. Okay. Is there a motion to approve this? As recommended by
I'll make the
the,
motion.
by Mark,
I'll second it.
second by Charlie. Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I abstain.
Oh, sure. So are there any questions for the chief? Okay. Chief's speech is not here. I don't think we have a report from him. Chief Melchior is here.
I had nothing. He already, I only spoke about the training plan, but
Committee reports, long-term planning,
Nothing to report.
new truck committee, Chair Rafkus.
I have nothing to report.
Do we have Rescue 1 and Engine 21 advertised yet?
I believe Chair,
What's that?
I believe my chair is handling that portion.
Oh. Lesson to public safety, Charlie Dupree.
Well, the open house was scheduled for Saturday, the 13th. We canceled that prior to it due to the inclement weather that was predicted and was here. We did have emails and Facebook notifications that went out there. We did have personnel standing by here. Did have at least one person that came and did fill out an application, so that was a positive thing on that. I think it was a good choice to cancel it because, like I said, the weather was really nasty and it would have been miserable out there. The logger extrication drill the date has been moved up on that. That's going to be May 18th. Again, it's from 8 in the morning until 2 in the afternoon with lunch provided. Everybody seems to be a little bit slow signing up for that. It is a great event due to the recent circumstances that happened just outside of our jurisdiction here, where an individual was actually trapped by a tree that had come down on a piece of equipment. So I think it's something that'll benefit everybody in that. So again, we've got a lot of people outside of the coalition that want to sign up for it. So the first choice is everybody in the coalition district. So need to step up. I know that we've got 3 people from this department that have already signed up. The next meeting is going to be tomorrow, the 13th, down at, wait a minute, Tuesday, the 16th, and that's going to be at 7 o'clock, Seneca River Fire Department. Thank you.
Budget and Finance, we did meet with the department yesterday for the department audit. Charlie, you want to report on that?
Sure, I'll talk about that. So we did meet, Kit and myself met. Several members from the board of the department were there. John was there, Treasurer John Melchior was there, had his treasurer hat on. And one of the things, we went over multiple reports that he had, and bottom line is he needs help on it. He does need additional help from people that need to step up and help him out with it. A few minor issues that he had, since I'm sure have been corrected, and he is in the process of working on that. He's actually signed up for some additional training to help him with the process on that. But bottom line is he needs help. People just need to step up and help him out. So other than that, everything went very well. I think it was a productive meeting. Good discussion was had by all.
Okay. IT Committee, Chair Chura.
First thing, I have a quote for installing the modems and antennas for the 2 Chiefs cars and 1 engine. Total cost is about $1,353. We had that money, should be in the accounts already from the purchases of the vehicles. And that's through United Radio.
This is modems and
Antennas.
antennas. So, do we need to approve that, or, I mean, the money's already allocated because it was...
When we purchased the vehicles, we approved them. We're just,
Yeah,
there's no dramatic increase since we purchased the vehicles, so
okay,
that's what the current quote
just
is.
move forward with that.
Yep. Second thing is the I am responding. Since last month, we had a bunch of questions. Amy reached out to them to say the best. We got the vague answers.
I got kind of a response this afternoon. I talked to a few people that have been using it. Some of it was some system settings we had, where the times were clearing after the call. That can be adjusted in a setting, which I have changed, and we haven't gotten a call since then. The call times coming through, he said it would be a question if dispatch is sending them, which I think they are, but he said he can have his team reach out and see if they can include or parse that in the information. So that's something they can work on us with. I have been in contact with First Arriving to see if we can get it up on the station boards, and some of that, it's collecting data, and eventually it'll go up there. There's still, because after I changed some settings, it's coming through differently on their end, so they have to watch it to see how it's gonna go up on the boards, but that's a possibility. And then I think one of the questions was the audio on it. You can set it so it talks, but it's just gonna be what comes through. But there is a way for us to hook up a monitor to a computer so that we can get that feed as well. But until we know for sure what we're gonna do, it's kind of not easy to do. So if it's something we're gonna do going forward, we can look into setting that up. But I haven't had a chance to really look at it since we're still trying it out. But it is a possibility to get that feed as well. So they are willing to work with us, just not clear-cut answers, but somewhat better than we were last month.
So Chief Speech's recommendation was that we stay with the trial until we can figure out either a few more answers or whatever. They're not gonna kick us out for not signing up, so it's just another month, but hopefully get more answers. That's it.
Okay, so that's what we'll stay on for another month trial, so Amy put that on the agenda again for next month. Personnel, I didn't do the updates until just last week because I was really tied up, and I do have them, but I did not get a chance to send them out to the others, so I think we probably should table that till next month, so the final copy ready for approval. So can you hold that over to the next month? Truck maintenance, sure.
One thing, truck two's bucket speaker was defective and we got it replaced, so that's all set. And some headlights were replaced on squad one, that's it.
Building maintenance, Charlie.
Moving along with the renovation of the bathroom over at Station 2. They've got the tile up, the fixtures up, waiting on new floor tile and ceiling tile to come in along with the shower, so they're progressing with that. The water fountain is up and running here. Drinking water right here. Saved another couple bottles. Other than that, we're moving along. Luke started the lawn mowing today, so it's that lawn mowing time of the year. As wet as it is out there, he didn't manage to get stuck, which is a good thing, so.
So are the fountains done at both stations?
Yes, they are.
Oh, okay.
On the building maintenance, do we have the copy of the permit to put on the door for outside contractors coming in if they ask questions?
I don't think you need it.
You might have doing a renovation.
I don't think we have to have it. As a municipality, I think we're exempt.
We're
Yeah.
exempt? Okay. All right.
Steering committee, Diane.
We did not have one last month due to the Easter holiday, but we will have one this April 27th. All I ask is everyone to email me if they will be attending, because if I don't get any emails, I will not hold the meeting. And that's it.
Fire prevention, Mark.
As Commissioner Charlie said, that the fire prevention was postponed here for the open house. So we'll work with the department, see what their plans are for the future.
Old business. Policy review, we don't have any going on right now. Charlie, you emailed about the,
Yes, I did. I emailed about policy 00042. What that is that's the commissioners looking at the members of the department as far as their responses and, let's just say, commitments that they've made to the department. And with discussion that was had, the commissioners feel as if at this point the department has stepped up and done what they were set out to do, and yet members of the department feel as if the department did not do enough as far as stepping up and doing what they were supposed to do. So it's kind of a back and forth. So the ball is in our court at this point in time, and yet, like I said, they already had the meeting, they chose who to send out letters to and who not to send out letters to. Has anything happened with that as of yet?
This part.
So have we seen increased responses from the people that have received the letters or did not receive the letter and that were in need of receiving a letter?
So the 13 people that were identified, I think we sent letters to 2, and the response has not increased since those letters came out, neither to the people that got the letters, nor mostly from the people who did not receive letters. There's been really not much change in response to calls and training and meetings.
And commitment. So what do we want to do? Yes, sir.
One question. In all fairness, and you don't have to give the names, you gave some people letters and some people not letters? Is that fair?
It's according to the bylaws. So the executive board identifies the people, then we go to the meeting and we ask the body if we want to send them letters. And they chose who to send letters to and who not to send letters to. And we chose to send letters to 2, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it's back in November. 2 of the members of the 13 we identified. The rest did not get letters. But 10 of the 13 were at the meeting that night, listening firsthand to the discussion that night. So they were well aware of it.
So I guess, Charlie, they're looking for us to do action?
Right,
Or-
so what happened was policy 00042 was written back whenever, and because of the lack of anything happening with the department, it was passed on to the commissioners. So the commissioners came up with a policy to enforce that. That's where it's at. So I think what's happened is there's no teeth in the bylaws. The bylaws say, we're gonna give you a letter if the body says we're gonna send you a letter. There's really no positive thing for the letter. If you're an offending individual, all you have to say is, I'm gonna do better. And as John just stated, the 10 have not done better. Or 13 have not done better.
10 did not get the letter.
Okay.
Now, the bylaws committee is currently working on something.
I don't believe so.
That's not an item right now. And
No.
Carol can correct it. I don't think they're working on that piece right now actively.
They have talked about it. They've talked about the letter.
The bylaws, basically, there's a step in the bylaws say send a letter, but the next step down in the bylaws say you can have exceptions to the letter, and so not really much to it. And remember, the letter's not designed to tell people not to, it's designed to say, hey, what do you need, what can we do for you? But we see the letter as a punitive thing now. So we're not sending it out to not offend people, but people are aware of it, but it's still not effective. Whereas your policy, it has different requirements and different ways that you want about it, that we don't have.
So, as a board, what would we like to do? We have a policy that we need to act on. Do we act on it? Do we say the department's handling it? I don't want to chase people away. I think that it's important that we maintain and retain our people. But I also think that it's important that people that have made the commitment to step up and volunteer continue with their training. We've got people that have not had training and not come to training for over a year. If they show up, what good is that? It's a liability to us. It's a liability to our members that are out there. If they decide to respond to a call and something goes wrong, not only are they putting themselves in jeopardy, but they're putting their crew in jeopardy and they're putting the district in jeopardy. There's no teeth in any of this, and we need to put teeth into it. It boils down to, you made the commitment, whenever it was. If things have changed in your life, step away, step back. That's what we've given. They've given the option. They've said, all right, we're gonna send you a letter. You come back and say, we're gonna do better. There is no doing better. Something needs to happen.
So would it give, since it appears the membership's not gonna do anything about it, so is what they're asking is for us to either have them turn around somehow, or they're gone. No different than when they're voted in, the board up here accepts them. So if you're telling me you got 10 people,
13.
you know, and the vice president also, if you got 10 people that aren't producing, you're telling the board they're not producing, but you don't know how to get rid of them. You're telling us to get rid of them.
Well, unfortunately, like John was saying, is the bylaws state a certain thing, and we have talked about it, and it's been brought up at meetings saying, look, we have the bylaws, we've sent them the letter, but there are no consequences, and that's where we need to put consequences in, saying, you received the letter, if you don't improve within 3 months, then out we go. But we don't have that currently in our bylaws, and that's something that has to be addressed and put into the bylaws. But it has been brought up.
When do you think you're gonna put that into the bylaws?
That's up to the bylaw committee right at the moment.
Which is in discussion, but not anything formal yet. But I offer something else to you too, just to keep in mind. One thing is, and I don't mean to be cruel, but you guys are talking about buying more gear. And we have people that have gear, but we can't give it to the next person, so they have gear. That's one thing. Number two, we talked about training. OSHA training says quarterly on your training. So if we have people who haven't been around for quarterly and more than quarterly or half a year or whatever, that's liability on the chief's office and the commissioners, in my opinion. So it's like I said, it'd be nice to get them to understand that and realize they were passionate when they first came here and they wanted to, what do I have to do to join this place? And that's the same question we should be asking them. And I think that's why your policy was formed behind our bylaws to, help out on that situation. It's cost to you and liability to you, along with obviously the department too, but until we can fix the bylaws, if we can, we're in a situation where it's just a situation where we have gear issued to people, they may show up, they may not. If they do show up, what can you do with them? What can they do? And some people say, don't be mean, just enjoy the fact that they're coming, they're here, they're part of the family. I totally get that, but at the same time, 10 of the 13 were there that night and we had the discussion. They knew exactly what it was, we talked about it, we talked how it was important for them to be here, and they still haven't come back around for calls. For training.
I think you explained it pretty well, Charlie. How do the others feel?
I don't have the policy in front of me to review it and everything else, and I know you created one, and you do have, I believe you were supposed to act on it twice.
Yeah, I think it
Something like
was
that.
April and
Right.
October or something.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's something that we need to discuss, and if that's what the policy states, then we gotta act on it.
But your secretary has to supply us the material. That's in the policy, I
That
believe.
comes from me. That comes from
Mr.
me.
Secretary.
The department secretary doesn't have that.
So do we want to, go ahead and, we're a month late, but at least
Start looking into it
start
and
looking
get
at it and,
data.
okay. New business. I have an item here I sent to the other commissioners last week. A couple of opinions from Fire District Mutual and ESOP concerning the use of exercise equipment and the fact that members would not be covered by the FBL while they were using exercise equipment. I inquired from our attorney, and I copied, I gave everyone a copy of his response, and really it appears like he can write a waiver that would help us out a whole lot if there was an injury. But, you know, they feel that it's important that the members and paid staff understand that, you know, they're not going to be covered by VFBL if they're injured. So I'm wondering if we want to ask the attorney to prepare a waiver. And move forward in that manner.
I think we ought. I think exercise is important, and I think that with the equipment that's out there and potentially more equipment coming in, that yes, we should be out there utilizing it. The answers that I got back were the same thing as if you're washing your car. So you've got the same liability of washing your car. So again, this is something that we need to have people staying in shape, maintaining in shape, maintaining their physical abilities, and we need to have something to say, hey, if you get hurt, you're on your own. Something along those lines.
Maybe to add to what Charlie had, besides just the weightlifting, can we have him kind of write it openly so that it does involve, say, car washing, or it does involve making your lunch in the kitchen with sharp knives, anything like that? It can all fall in there. It doesn't have to be just weightlifting.
Wouldn't that be your normal insurance coverage? On that?
What's that?
Property insurance coverage? Like if something happened in the kitchen or you slipped out in the truck bay, we have insurance to cover that.
We
I don't know.
do, but
That's a fine
VFBL.
line. That's a fine line. When you're in the kitchen, you're making a sandwich, you're cutting a pizza or something, and whoops.
Yeah.
It's just one of those stupid things.
But the fact is, it's written in the FBL law that there is no coverage for softball. There's no coverage for weightlifting and physical fitness equipment. And because it's there, I think it's incumbent upon us to get that waiver and make sure that the members understand that they will not be covered by the FBL. I did get notification today from Tony Blackwell from ESOP that there would be some coverage under the accident and sickness policy, but their personal private insurance is primary. But it's not a new thing. This is something that's been going on for many years, and I just think that it's more fair that the firefighters understand.
Or what about Clay headquarters? I know they have a weight room set up in their truck bay,
Yep.
but it's caged off and locked. So maybe to reach out to them and ask them, what do they use for their
Well,
insurance?
Solvay's got a beautiful one.
Right,
Mattydale's got a beautiful one. I was at Hammondsport yesterday. They have one.
right.
Now, I
So
didn't
other
see,
departments gotta have some type of waivers or
But-
something.
not everybody understands what the FBL will pay and won't pay. And because we know that the FBL won't cover, I think we need to make sure our members understand that.
So if we move forward with this, are we eliminating the $200 a year membership for gyms?
I don't know, I thought the membership was the department was helping, was
We were talking, again, we were talking about as a department picking up memberships, making a motion that way, and or waiting for a gym here so we can see where we're going. So we're offering both. But we're like, we're trying to work hand in hand with the district and make this thing better for everybody.
So we'll ask him to prepare a waiver.
A kind of open one. You know, not just free weights.
Okay. Any more new business?
I got some. I'd like the board to think about a $2 pay raise per hour for our part-time staff, effective May 1st. All the other neighboring departments, they've had union contracts and everything up, and it has increased. I had my paperwork in the office, but I roughly calculated it out. I think for the remainder of the year, it's ballpark 24,000 if we're staffed 24/7, 2 people for 240 days roughly for the rest of the year.
Effective what, May?
May 1st.
Are you bringing that up to, for us to consider and think about for next month, or are you making that proposal?
I can make a proposal, but we don't have to act on it till next month. The only thing I encourage is that if we don't act on it this month, which is fine, is that we make it effective either way, May 1st. Because we'll be splitting our meetings in between.
Any discussion?
Table it for now.
Okay. So, no more new business.
Only other thing, I'd like to thank a couple of sets of crews. Last week, we were able to send 2 rigs to Moyers Corners for a 99 fire. Word back from both of our rigs that went there. Outstanding job. Also, the other day, 2 of our crews went to a respiratory arrest, possibly went to a full arrest. Also has a maternity on board. They had their hands full on the whole thing. Outstanding job again. First one was mixed. People are always going to ask. Paid staff and volunteer staff for the Moyers Corners. The second one was just before its shift change, so it was both of our off-going and oncoming paid crews. So, thank you very much for those people that responded. Nice job. That's it.
I'd like to have an executive session, but first, do we have any public comments?
Commissioner Chair, you had the estimate earlier for the 2 Chiefs cars, for their modems.
Yes.
Any chance we can make that 3?
What's that?
Can we make that 3 Chiefs cars so all 3 of us have it?
We can as soon as you drive there and find out what your car needs.
Got it. You
Because that's part of it. When the others are going and being done, you are already in the loop.
Perfect.
To have yours estimated, because yours is the odd car.
Getting rid of them.
But I'll figure it out.
Yeah, it's already considered.
Okay, I thought it was, I didn't want you to approve it and say you should have approved it.
Yeah, no, we got you.
Got it.
So I'd like to make the motion to move to executive session. Oh, are there any more public comments? For G.
Do we have to swear in the chief? Huh? We did it already?
We did it, okay. Well, we did it at the special meeting.
We'll have them dressed for the next one.
Okay.
So is there a second to my motion? Executive session, Mark?